Hello, I will be showing you some pretty cards today. It's my video response to Tiferet Tarot 22 faves. So the idea is to show for every major arcana your favorite depiction of it. I will be honest, it's been a very difficult thing for me to do because there are so many beautiful cards that I love from different decks, so I couldn't decide only on 22. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I tried really hard, so I won't be showing you all of my favorite cards. No. Anyway, the other thing is that I do have my perfect deck, like a deck that I think it's just for me. It's just perfect. And if I were ever to make a deck myself, because I've been thinking about it many times, because I do like to paint, so I could if I wanted to. I even had some ideas, some sketches and so on. But if I were to make a deck ever, I suppose it will be an oracle deck, because I already have my perfect deck, and it's Tarot de Marseille in many versions, in many many faces. But yeah, it's just, there's no point in me making a tarot, because I believe it's somebody already did it better, and it's already my perfect deck, if I may say so. But I've been watching some of your video responses, and I saw that many of you were talking about, well, explaining why this card is your favorite, and also talking about what, how do you see each card, each archetype. So I thought I would do just this. I will use my edition Millennium Tarot to talk about what I think about this card, and then I will show you my favorites from other decks. Let's do it like that. So I will start with the Fool. Of course, you can put him at the end, but I do like to start with him. So the Fool from Marseille deck. He's a bit different than the Rider-Waite-Smith depiction. You won't see that innocence, because I often hear the Fool as being depiction of innocence and like even a child or something. You don't see that here. It's a kind of old guy that is homeless and he's walking from town to town, wandering. So for me, he is more of an outsider. He is he doesn't belong anywhere. He doesn't have a home. He is different than anyone, but also he is free. So he is outside of any structure. He is a free spirit, and he represents this creativity that you can find when you look outside of the box. So this for me is the Fool, or Le Mat. And my favorite card outside of Marseille is this one. Oh my god, this is just adorable. This is the Fool from Tarot of the Magical Forest, and it's this piggy here with a dog who is, it's a toy dog on wheels. I love it. And yeah, it also shows you a wanderer, of course, but it's this different, a little bit different view. Is the Rider-Waite-Smith more or less depiction. So he has this cliff where he can fall if he's not careful, and yeah, I just find it adorable. That's how I see it. And next up, the Magician. Oh, the Magician. I often have, you might be surprised, but I often have problems to narrow down what he really means in the reading. So he's here he is more of a street magician. He's not like this powerful sorcerer of swords that we know from other decks. Here he is just a guy who knows tricks and who's probably is really skilled at illusion. So yeah, he's the beginning. He's number one. And I hope you don't hear my washing machine being really noisy. Maybe I will close the door. So where was I? Yeah, so he's this kind of a trickster, and I don't really get him yet. I have many thoughts about him, but yeah, I'm not sure what I feel about him. But there's this beautiful depiction in the Animal Totem Tarot. I just love it. It's, oh my god, it's just a beautiful card, first of all. Second of all, we get the fox, and the fox is known to be cunning. Like it's the metaphor for cunning, and that's also what I think about this guy. He's really, yeah, he knows how things work and he can use it to his benefit. So yeah, we have this cute fox here, and well, cute. He's just pretty. I like it. And next up we have the Papess or High Priestess. So yeah, she's this depiction is so much different than your Rider-Waite-Smith, only because it's not so esoteric, and that's what I like, because I like the not simplicity, the minimalism of Tarot de Marseille. It allows you to put as many layers as you want, because it's so minimalistic. It's more universal for me. Of course. So who is she for me? She's a person who teaches you patience. She's the one who tells you, take it easy, take it slow, think about it, don't rush. There is time. You don't have to be impatient. Just try and consider consequences and stuff like that. There's of course much more to this card, but yeah, she's really well grounded and wise. What can I say? What else can I say? Yeah, and it's and I like that she's the female counterpart to the Pope. Like we have this pair. So yeah, that's what this card means for me. And next up, I love this depiction. It's the High Priestess from the Jaśniak Tarot, or so-called Polish Tarot, Polski Tarot. It's my first deck ever. I've shown this before on this channel, but I have such a deep connection to this deck. These were my first tarot images that I was learning on. So what I love about this depiction is is this candle she has. Like, she has this candle that helps you get, I find, illumination. And yeah, and she's just cool. Kind of, I don't know. I just find her cool, and she seems like such a, how do I put it? She knows stuff in general. She knows stuff, and she can teach you. My other favorite card, like, well, this is just from one of my newest decks. It's Trionfi della Luna by Patrick Valenza. And I find it hilarious. It's just so funny. When I got this deck, I was just sitting, flipping through it and laughing all the time, out loud. So I'm not person who could work with the original Deviant Moon Tarot, because the imagery is too much for me, simply. But the sense of humor of this deck is just my jam. It's just, oh my goodness. Can you see it? She's a female pope, and there is blazing fire behind her, alluring to the burning of the heretics, and also all those books. Well, there's the book in the original Papes card, but also burning the forbidden books, the heretic books. It's just, I don't know, I find it so funny. I love it. I love it. Next up is a card that many people say have problems connecting to. I have my other cards that I have problems with, but this one is just, right now, she's my ideal. She's my goal. I want to be as cool as she is. So, yeah, the Empress. Again, the Marseille depiction, I find it more inclusive, let's say, because like many modern decks show her as a mother, or being pregnant, or Mother Nature kind of person, which makes it a bit difficult to identify for some people, for many reasons. But here we have just the counterpart of the Emperor, a female ruler. And what I find so great in this card is that she's so grounded. She knows so well who she is, and she's just so strong. And I want to be as strong. I want to also know who I am in life, and have more of this, like, power to make decisions about my life. I find all of this in this card. So that's my goal right now. And yeah, I said that I will be showing different cards from Tarot de Marseille, because most of the depictions are very similar, but I just have to show this card. I love this Empress. She's from the Noblet Tarot, reconstructed by Jean-Claude Flornoy. She's so pissed off. I don't know what it is, you guys, but recently I realized, I think my subconscious wants to tell me something, but I find these empresses who are kind of pissed off. Really? They speak to me somehow. I really find them adorable, endearing. I don't know what it is, but she takes no shit, you guys. It's just so awesome. And I have another card, and I think because of similar reasons, also from Trionfi della Luna, is this Empress. She's also like, but this little detail I love is like she's smoking this cigarette in this cigarette holder. It's like, I don't give a shit. So yeah, I think this is something that that I lack. I really worry about stuff. I'm easily stressed out, so I feel the need for this internal calm and being focused on not on all the negative things, but just knowing who I am and being able to take strength from that thought. So yeah, love it. It's just, again, hilarious. Next up is the Emperor. Well, this is a card that also I heard many people have problems with, me included. Because I don't know, well, I don't know exactly, but I find this card to represent more negative sides to me. When I see this card, I feel like, that's that guy who wants to tell me what to do and to remind me that I'm not organized enough, or I don't know. Also, it speaks of well, let's call it like a dominant male, and I cringe a bit when I hear it. So so yeah, I have quite a problem with this card, but just recently I found a card that speaks to me much better, and it's the Emperor from the China Tarot. Yeah, he's a pretty guy. Of course he speaks to me. Well, but that's not the only reason. He reminds me of a character from a comic book that I read many years ago, and it took place in ancient China. So yeah, he was a bit similar to this image, and he was also young, pretty handsome guy, but what I see here is, you see this frown on his face. This deck is full of really pretty people. That's the style in general. But he has this frown, and this little detail makes me think that he's, you know, he has a determined person who knows his responsibilities and who doesn't run away from them. He's willing to work hard for, well, his people, his country, possibly also his family, and he really, yeah, that he's a person who is very responsible and loving and hardworking, and that really speaks to me. I don't see him as a, like, really this very strict ruler. Well, I suppose in a spread he could appear as such, but I don't feel the oppression here. I feel those better sides of the card. So I think it might help me balance my view on the Emperor. And next up is a card that I have even more problems with, and I think just recently I've watched Kellyanne Maddox's video on shadow cards, so-called, so cards that give us negative thoughts and emotions, and and they point to things that we should work in our lives. So yeah, the Pope. I believe many of us tarot readers have a problem with this card, because if you were raised Christian, especially Catholic, this is a person who is, who is the head of the church, and the church says tarot is bad. Tarot is evil. So, yeah, for me, it's also very difficult because I left Catholic Church. I was raised in a Catholic country, which is Poland. So not only at home, I was taught Catholicism, but also at school and in church and, well, basically everywhere. So I think it's been some 5 or 4 years ago, I decided I cannot stand it anymore. It's not my thing. I don't agree with too many things in the teachings of Catholic Church that I just left. It was a very difficult experience for me. So this card is just a reminder of all that, of all the things I left behind me, that I felt hurt by. So yeah, so this is a very difficult card for me to see positively. But also, I've been watching some videos recently, and Kasia from Tarot Map, she talked about how it used to be also her shadow card, but she integrated it and now it's one of her favorite cards. She's also a Marseille style deck lover, so she said that she sees this card also as, you know, it's also about tradition, not only religion, but it's about tradition. And she, like me, she loves those very traditional historical decks. So it might be a point from which I should start looking at this card. And also I love what Kellyanne Maddox said, because the Hierophant or the Pope can also be not someone that comes to you and tells you what to do and what you shouldn't do. You can be the Pope. You can be the Pope in your life. You can try and organize your things. And also for me, because I am a beginner Slavic pagan, it's just something very new in my, well, not very new, but still kind of new. I'm still feeling my way around it. So because I'm in search of my faith, my path, if I become this person, it will be very empowering for me. So it's a beautiful way of seeing this card. And I chose this card, again from Animal Totem deck, Animal Totem Tarot. It's a polar bear! So this card, again, it can speak to me because there's nothing about religion here, basically. It's not a specific religion. It's not Catholic Church, it's not any church. It's a polar bear who can be wise and can teach you his ways. So because he's stripped of all these negative things that I have around this representation. It's very nice for me. Oh, I need to have a sip of tea, if you'll excuse me. Whoops! Sorry. Next up we have the Lover. So, yeah, in the Marseille deck, it's some people read it as lovers, as a love card. Some people read it as a choice card, because we have one guy and he has two ladies. So which one do I choose? And I kind of hate that. I somehow don't like this idea. But I love another idea about this card, which is this character being a mother of this guy, of the lover. So I see them more, so there's the bride, and they are just getting wed, and she's like welcoming them in their new life, like they had their rite of passage, that is marriage, getting married. It can be any other rite of passage really in your life, but yeah, there is this new life you're starting together with someone else, and she's just welcoming them. And yeah, also this card in this deck in particular has been flipped, and it's very interesting. But it's a topic for a different video, so I won't get too deep into that. But yeah, what I think about when I see this card, I think about feelings and how, well, yes, of course, we make choices, but not only between two people or two similar things. It's also a choice to go further, to leave something behind you and start something new. So this is what this card is about for me. And also those positive feelings. Like I also read the pips, I connect them to the first 10 major arcana. So 6s are for me about happiness and harmony, not necessarily having to choose and hurting someone. I also don't like the idea that we have to see this card that is said called lover as someone hurting other people, because yeah. Well, of course it happens in life, but I don't think that also the number 6, which is the harmonious number, should talk about hurting people. That's just my my view of this. And I chose this card from Crystal Tarot, and be prepared, there will be a lot of cards from Crystal Tarot, because I freaking love this deck. It's so beautiful, it speaks to me so much. It's just, oh my goodness. So what I like about this card is, yeah, they're holding each other in their arms. It's romantic, they're almost kissing, and you can tell also by the sun that they are happy. And oh my god, I love the birch. This is one of my most favorite trees ever. I love trees in general, but birches are so beautiful. I used to have a birch next to my window in my parents' house, and I love it. So yeah, so it brings really a lot of fond memories and nice feelings. Next up we have the Chariot. So the Chariot, well, the person depicted here is a conqueror. So I see him as such. Of course, everything connected to travel will be this card as well, because we have the wheels and the horses. This one is kind of mean. Anyway, so this card tells me this is the right time for you to shine. You go out there and you conquer whatever it is, like your fear or the audience or whatever. It's just you have to go out, you have to be brave. That's what this card is about for me. And then again, Tarot of the Magical Forest. This is just amazing. This hedgehog, his face is just, what am I doing? But I'm going forward. And that's the thing for me. You can feel the speed here, even though there are probably, I don't know, quite heavy animals, but still I believe there is a lot of speed there. We can see the movement on this card, so this going forward, and even if we're really scared, just try, have a go. This is what I love about this card, and yeah. Awesome. Next up is Justice. I sometimes had problems with understanding what this card wants to tell me in a spread, because I sometimes felt blank. It's like, okay, I need to be, I don't know what. Right now I think it's also about being decisive, because you have this sword, so you have to make a decision, and but it shouldn't be rushed. A bit similar to the Papes, but here there is just, okay, you should think about it and then make a decision. Like, you shouldn't wait too long. It's just time to think properly and then decide. Also, of course it's about being just to people, so you should be fair. Simply, you should be fair towards others. And yeah, Jodorowsky in his book, he talks about her that, like, he sees her as a mother archetype, and because yeah, he had some difficult relationship, I think, with his mom, so maybe she was very strict. My mom is also strict, so for me it's also but I think it can be a mother archetype in this way of a mother, not the nurturing mother archetype, but the educator. Mothers are our first educators in the world and teaching us what is right and what is wrong, so that we can understand it for ourselves. And for me, well, I have a little son and he very often doesn't understand many things, so I have to be, I don't want to be strict, but yeah, you need to be consistent in what you're saying to your child, what you're doing. So this might be a mother card in this way of understanding, like a mother as an educator. And I chose this card only because it's just so beautiful. I don't know, this crane is just so beautiful and peaceful. It's from the Animal Totem Tarot. It just makes me feel good. This is so wonderful about tarot cards, that you don't always understand at first why you feel some things. You just get exposed to an image, and then you feel some stuff, and then you can think about it and dissect it and try to understand. But yeah, this card, it just makes me feel good. I love birds too. Next up, the Hermit. So I had a really hard time deciding on favorite card from different deck, because surprisingly, Hermits are the cards that I find the most beautiful in the decks. I was surprised when I counted how many candidates for the card I have. It was like, what? I thought it would be the star or the moon. Well, I also had a lot of candidates there. But yeah, the Hermit, it was just, I had to cross out a lot of candidates from my list. But anyway, the Hermit, he is a person who got wise with age and experience. So he knows the good and bad of the life. Like, he's been there, he's experienced stuff. He's also, he still is kind of a scientist, I would say. He's still curious, even though he's an old man, he still kept this curiosity about things because he has this lamp and he's trying to see more, even though he's seen already so many things. So, well, yeah, it's always, the hermit is said in many books, it's about solitude, and I see him a bit like that as well, because in Tarot de Marseille it's very important in which direction the person is looking. So he's looking to the left of the card, which means the past. So he's looking back at his life, and maybe he wants to learn from his mistakes, or just to reflect on his life. And there are so many wonderful hermits. This is from the Mary L. Tarot, and I just have no words here. It's just so beautiful. It's just so wonderful. I don't know. It's just perfect. It's just awesome. And my other one is, well, I think I like polar bears. I don't know. It's from the Tarot of the Magical Forest. It's just adorable. He's here alone in the snow. He's looking for something. He's in his solitude. He finds things that normally he couldn't if he wasn't alone. I think, like, I get a feeling from this card. So yeah, I love this card. And really, the last one is again from my beloved Crystal Tarot. This hermit. I don't know. It's just, sorry for the glare here, but yeah. I find this image enchanting somehow. I can feel the mystery here. He's about to find out something. He's alone in the woods, and any moment now he can discover something really amazing. That's what this card makes me feel. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So I used to have problems with this card, like having blank mind on seeing this, but now I do appreciate this card, and I see yeah, first of all, it's number 10, so it's completion of a cycle. And again, the wheel, the cycle. So something's gonna change, and also it's something that repeats itself. So like we have the wheel of the year, so it means the time. So the time is right. It's a time for a change. And it promises you that things can get upside down, actually, just like these creatures on the wheel. My favorite depiction outside of here is this card. It's from the Daniloff Tarot, and I find it just wonderful. I just love this card. It's, I don't know, it's it's just awesome. You can see this time aspect here, because we have the zodiac signs, and also like the connection to the wheel of the year, because we have this horn of plenty here. And yeah, there are those 4 elements. And just recently I've had a really wonderful reading including this card, so I feel really close to it. And these 2 masks, like tragedy and comedy, are also, well, you can find in many belief systems that we divide the year into 2 halves as opposed to 4 seasons. So this would be well, first the growing year half, and this is the how you say it in English? You know what I mean. The second one, when the days get shorter, so we get the year of, for example, like the half of Osiris and Seth, or other other pairs of gods, or we can say Apollo and Dionysus, or what I personally love in the depictions of, for Christmas you get this depiction of the Holy Family, the shepherds, everything, and you get the bull and the ass, the donkey. So also this would be the bull, this would be the donkey, and so on and so forth. Yeah, everything has its time. Time goes in cycles, so it's also kind of yeah, you can feel good about it, that even if you miss your chance, maybe it will appear in front of you again if you're supposed to take this chance. Just a thought. Next up there is Strength. And yeah, what's this about? I find this to symbolize very often female sexuality to me. So it's a woman who is in touch with her animal side, so sexuality as this base instinct thing. She's connected to her body, but she also manages it, like she's not only the instinct, she's also a lady. she has this fancy clothing here, so she balances this, but there's also, I get this feeling of this really strong force of course, that she's a really strong person who is very like fiery to me. I can describe it like this. So she's fiery, and she can channel this power, this force into some kind of a goal, and she can deal with stuff, she can manage. And also in the reading, as I said, if I did have a reading once about whether what does this guy think about me, right? Someone asked me that, and I read cards for her, and I got 3 cards. In the middle, I think there was a King of Wands or something, someone like that, and on the one side there was the Papess, and on the other side there was the Force card. And then I said, well, he simply cannot make up his mind whether you're a friend to him or a lover, whether he sees you just as a friend or as a partner, possibly sexual partner, right? A girlfriend. So yeah, so that's how it turns out in the readings for me. It can be a girlfriend, a lover, something like that. And I chose this card from Tarot of the White Cats. It's one of my oldest decks, and I've had a lot of fun with it. As you can see, I also trimmed this. But this is such a fun depiction. It's just this little kitty in the lion's mouth. It's awesome. Isn't it awesome? And she's in pink and she's delicate, but she still is very strong and she can deal with this huge beast. So I find it really cool. And because this deck is a pretty close Rider-Waite-Smith clone, it also has some cards that are, more creative there. So this is one of them, and it's nice. Oh, wow. Still so many cards to go. Next up we have the Hanged Man. So, about Hanged Man, I could talk and talk. So there are so many interpretations of the card you can get, depending on the topic and the situation, of course. But he's definitely a person who is trapped. He cannot move. He's stuck there. He's like a prisoner of sorts. So yeah, it always tells about a situation where things just won't go smoothly. They will get stuck. And sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's just how it's supposed to be and you cannot do anything about it. It often also appears in relationship spreads, so what does he think about me? And this is like, he cannot make up his mind, or there won't be anything out, like it won't work probably for you because it's just the energy is stuck. There's no way it can, well, no way at the moment at least, that it can go forward. It's just it's dead point. But also it's being stuck and probably not very happy about it. Because yeah, who would be happy in this position? So he's being punished for something, and also yeah, he's probably scared because he will be probably executed, and the next card says that there will be some execution. So not fun at all. But sometimes it's just how things are supposed to be. And the card that I chose is Hanged Man from Mary L. Tarot. It's just amazing. Well, the whole deck is amazing, to be honest, but this one, I also had it in some really deep, important readings for me, and it really beautifully depicted the situation I was at the time. What I also love about it is these wisteria flowers. I love wisteria so much. They are so popular in Japan, where I spent 1 year. They can be so beautiful. So it also touches some really soft spot in my heart. So yeah. So obviously he's obviously suffering, but he's not only hanged upside down, it looks also like he's drowning, like he cannot breathe, he's suffocating. So yeah, strong readings with this deck. Next up, yay, the Nameless Arcanum or Death. So yeah, of course, if you're watching this video, you're not one of those people who are not aware that it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna die. It doesn't. It's just there would be too many deaths if this was true. But definitely it's not a fun card. It means it announces to you that there is serious shit be taken care of. Like, it's time to make, like, to clean up some mess, to get rid of things that are not serving you anymore. And it's going to be hard. You're gonna be very tired. You're going to probably suffer. You won't be happy about it, but it's inevitable. Like, it has to be done. That's mostly what I see when I look at this card, and sometimes it's very positive, because when you're really struggling with something and it's causing you pain, and you see this card, it says that's enough. It's time to just snip this thread and say goodbye, and then you can start afresh. You can get rid of this hurtful stuff, and it's a very helpful card. Then the card that I have chosen is this one from this Polish tarot. What can I say? I just love it. It's so geometrical. And also it has this finger here, and also the author of the deck, she talks about how this card is supposed to be a warning to you, that there is some things you have to be careful about. That yeah, she said that she wanted to make a deck that would be, well, positive. Just recently I read that I knew that she emigrated to the United States, and the thing I did not know is that her original impulse for creating a tarot deck was to make it for a Polish community in the States, because she thought that if they had a Polish deck with a book in Polish, they would feel less lonely, because that's what tarot meant to her. That she well, it was difficult, and the times when she left the country were really not fun to live in Poland, because of the communist regime. And yeah, she struggled a lot, and tarot helped her through this, so she wanted to share it with other people. So she said that she wanted a deck that would be comforting and not scary. So death here, okay, it's a skeleton, but it's here to help you, to tell you about difficult things in your life. And this is awesome. You have those, I don't know, souls or something, and this pyramid it's always made me feel a bit weird, but yeah, somehow I love it. It's just great card. Next up we have Temperance. This is one of those cards that I often did not know what to think about in a spread. Like, okay, I see this, and it's maintaining the status quo. Now I see it like, yeah, keeping balance, being skillful at managing two things at a time, also finding a little bit of peace. Yeah, that's basically it for me. And the card that I chose is again Crystal Tarot. I love this card. It's just so gorgeous. I love it kept this typical for also the Marseille, this curve of the figure. It's also twisted a bit, so it's not like you can stand on your both feet and manage everything. You have to find your way around things, so sometimes you have to bend here and there. And this angel is just so gorgeous. I love the pictures he's holding. It's like, oh my god. No, the devil. Oh, I must say, I really love the devil card in the Marseille depiction. He's just, he, it, she. Yeah, you cannot tell. And it's just so naughty. Naughty in a way that the devil doesn't care about social rules and like how you should behave. He, she, it is just what it is, and they are happy about who they are. So yeah, the devil again. It's well, it can have different meanings. Sometimes it means even like illness, that there is a problem with the body and you should take care of it, or it can mean that somebody wants to trick you. You should be careful there. Or of course, again, being a slave, because you have these two creatures chained to this pedestal. So yeah, being bound is really how I see this card very often. Also, it's a good card when you're asking about sex. It's just, oh yes, it will be great. Go for it. There will be sex. Yeah, so many things this card can tell you, and this is my favorite. Again, Polish tarot. This devil is just so awesome. He's just again, he has this finger. Again, this is another card that is supposed to warn you that there is some danger, there is something you have to be careful about. So he's not there to scare you, he's there to say, be careful. And what else? Oh yeah, this how he holds his tail, and like a microphone, he wants to tell you that there is some danger. And I love his hooves, and I love how he has this tongue stuck out. Well, it's also like it's in the Marseille depiction as well. And yeah, he has this light here, so he knows things. He has the black wings, so he tells you about his story as a fallen angel as well. I find it very cool. Since when I first started using this deck, I was some 12 years old. I was a bit scared. Oh, devil card! But then look at him. He's just so... it's great to think he's on your side, and he's just there to show you some things that you should pay attention to. Well, next up, the Tower. Oh, the Tower. I might have to load the battery. Huh? It's blinking on me. I didn't think it would take that much time. Anyway, the Tower, or the House of God in Tarot de Marseille, Le Maison Dieu, I read it differently in Tarot de Marseille than I read it in Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, because I don't see it as a ruin, as a catastrophe. I just see it more as a liberating outburst, that this tower, well, often I see it as, so okay, you've been chained here in the devil card, and then you get free. You run from this prison, and you're a different man. You have a different perspective, obviously. You're walking on your hands, and yeah, I find it okay. It's like with the death card is it's probably nothing fun to have something so shocking but then again, it's a change that is needed. It's needed, and it can be seen as a liberation. So, well, now this is a weird card. This is from Jolanda Tarot, or Swedish Witch Tarot. And yeah, this image is quite weird, but I kind of love it. It just makes me feel the inevitability of this catastrophe, right? And the Magical Forest Tarot, because look at this piggy. There's this piggy and a dog, and they're so small and so dark here. So this card I would definitely read as a kind of catastrophe, like deconstruction, and yeah, poor them. Because look, these people here on the Marseille deck, they look quite happy with themselves. No big deal. But these two, oh, poor things. Poor things. Next up, the Star. Who doesn't love a star? Well, I suppose there are some people who don't like her. But of course, I like her. She's, yeah, she's bringing you peace. She's telling you it's all right. Everything, there is enough of everything. Look, I can share with everyone, and you can be yourself. No need to hide. You can expose yourself. Like she's naked. It symbolizes that she's not hiding. She's exposed. She's not what's the word? Ashamed. So yeah, this card. And some people say, oh, she's pregnant, but for me it's like, I always think it's this nice belly that most of us actually do have, but we always pretend we don't, and we hide it for the photo, right? Or it's just natural. Women often have this kind of belly, so it's just natural thing. And again, she's not hiding anything. Okay, I have a belly, so what? I'm still gorgeous. So this is the Star, and again, Crystal Tarot is just such beauty and this peace that you can see in this picture. And I love her hair that goes smoothly down. It's, I don't know, it's just so beautiful. And I love how this bird here is inserted. We have the bird in the original card here, and the bird here, it's a bit geometrical, a bit like a stylization, but yeah, you can still see him there. And this card, again, Polish Tarot, I chose this card as well for how it makes me feel. It just tells you, yeah, that's really comforting. These colors here, they are very, very calming and assuring. That's what I feel when I look at this. There's this light that will guide you. It's awesome. I love this card. Next up, one of the favorite cards of many tarot readers, the Moon. I like it too. Even though often it doesn't mean positive things, but yeah, it's just a very, very cool card. So I often see it as when we are carried away by some illusions that we prefer to believe in instead of reality, that we see a reflection that is just in something's reflected in shaky waters, and we prefer to see it as reality when it's not. And yeah, some uncertainty here as well, but also going inside into your internal inside world, focusing on your soul, on your spirituality, and maybe also dream work, working with your dreams, seeing things that can't be seen in the day of light, in the light of day, in the light of the sun, right? And then there is my absolutely favorite card from the Crystal Tarot. It's this one. It's even, I think, in the newer editions, is on the backs as well, because my backs are like this, these peacocks here. But yeah, I just can't even. I can't even. It's amazing. This face here, it's. I just am in awe every time I look at this card. It's just so beautiful. And again, the second one from Polish Tarot. I showed this in a recent video, but yeah, I love this card. Also because it's different to many decks that show the feminine side of the moon. Well, in many belief systems, moon is male. Also in Polish language, the moon is male. And I'm pretty sure if we had, maybe not a moon deity, but a god connected to the moon, it was a god, not a goddess. I'm pretty sure about that. So yeah, it's this grandpa moon. And the wolves and the crayfish here. I love the colors. It's so whimsical. It talks about all those intangible things, all those dreamy things that we cannot really touch, things we cannot put our finger on. That's all in this card. And next up we have the sun. Well, by many it's seen as a very positive card, and of course it's pretty obvious that sun can mean really great things like warmth and power of life and illumination, safety. Here we have these two figures. One is seemingly helping the other. So there are some theories that this first one is just went through some transformation, and this one is already enlightened and is leading the other one. Or, well, just people helping each other, friendship. Many people say it's about becoming a father. I don't know, I never see it that way. But yeah, many positive things. Maybe also a stroke of luck. And the card that I really love is this one from Jolanda Tarot. It's just so I don't know, it's just so positive. And we have this again female sun, which I also kind of believe was the case with Slavic people. So well, in Polish it's the sun is neutral, but still I think it, yeah, in my opinion, we did have a goddess that had some solar aspects about her. So yeah, so I really like this. And the elk, oh my goodness, awesome. And yeah, we are almost there, almost there. It's the Judgment. The Judgment card. Well, for me it often speaks about things going back. Not necessarily from the grave, but yeah, something from the past, or something forgotten, or something we gave up on. It's being brought back to life. Also a message. So you get this trumpet, so it's now I tell you something. So it can be a phone call from someone, for example, also from our past, some important message that we get. And yeah, and there is a card from Jolanda Tarot that sold me on this deck. This I think this was the reason why I bought this deck in the end. It's just so amazing, because we get this this baby being carried by a stork. So in European tradition, the stork is a carrier of souls who are to be born. Also, of course, in Polish tradition, it's very, very deep there in the culture. So so yeah, and these cute angels here with trumpets. It's fun. I don't know, I like it. It just speaks to me. And the last one, the World. I love this card in Tarot de Marseille. It's just so, I don't know, it's, well, many people say it's well, yeah, it's the trump of the trumps. It's it, like, all this, the whole structure of tarot deck is encoded here. Like, we have the 4 suits plus the trumps here, and yeah, it's just an amazing card. So the World, surely it means achieving something, achieving your goal, completion of a cycle, success. But it also sometimes means just what's it called? So the world. So what's against me? People. Like society is against me, right? So it can have this negative meaning as well. Like, I want to do something, but people won't like it. They will, like, not be happy about it. So yeah, that's how I see it. And then this gorgeous card. Oh my god, it's just so amazing. She's just wonderful. I cannot put it into words even. This card is just awesome. Just awesome. And lastly, this one from Trionfi della Luna. It's just so much fun. Like, this world card makes me laugh so hard. So hard. It's just hilarious. And just look at the wig here, like this French style wig. And she's, yeah, she's happy and dancing with her blue body. It's, what? Awesome, I love it. I hope I did make some sense. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please write them. And thank you so much for watching. And I'm waiting for more videos to come. I mean, to your video responses to this topic, because they're so much fun to watch and also so much fun to make. So yeah, just try it. If you have your channel, or if you're thinking about having your channel, it's a great way to start. Thank you so much, and see you again soon. Bye!